Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The intro didn't kick in, so I'm a little confused about that. At its finest, ladies and gentlemen. I guess we're having a little bit of a glitch on this end. My apologies for that. Welcome to the show. My name's Tim. It's your favorite paranormal investigator. How you doing today? This is Tim. My name's Tim. This is Paranormal Insight, and my guest today has not quite shown up yet. I guess he's a little delayed. So we're gonna kind of wing a couple things until he shows up, and in case we're all life happens, man. But seriously, welcome to the show. It should be an interesting discussion when our guest joins us. We're going to be talking about holography and how to explore and heal and all kinds of stuff. I guess outside the matrix. And I purposely didn't read his stuff, and now I kind of wish I did because I'm a little. Hey, it's Heidi. Heidi's in the chat. How's it going? She echoed me. She called me your favorite paranormal investigator. Thank you. Appreciate that. What was I going to say? So there she is. That's what she said. Whoop. It's not showing. There they go. It's down in the corner right there. It's super tiny, but there it is. So our guest is going to be talking today about stuff, and I'll pull it up as soon as the internet decides to cooperate with me. This is so funny. We're having a lot of technical issues today. I wish I could restart, but I can't because we're live. So here we go. Let's see. I've been trying to connect, but the StreamYard keeps telling me there's nothing there. Okay. Well, he's having trouble connecting. And I will talk to him about that right this second. So bear with me. And again, the internet's just being a real stickler today. Nothing's interacting. Everything's still kind of loading, which is just silly. There we go. Okay. So let me try it again. Yeah, man, it is so slow. It's so silly, and I'm sorry you have to sit with me while we handle all this. It's a little embarrassing, to be completely honest with you, but we will get through it. Oh, there he is calling me. Hi, Brent. You know what? Oh, shoot. Darn it. I hung up on Brent. Brent, I'm terribly sorry. Let me call him again. It's good times. I just hung up on our guest. Let me call him back. You can hear him ringing. Hi, Brent. This is Tim. You're actually on the air with us. I just wanted to say hello, and that.
Yes. I've been trying to get on.
Yeah.
It keeps telling me there's nothing there with the StreamYard. I've rebooted, tried different browsers, thought it was on my end, but now I'm thinking there's something wrong with the URL.
It could well be. This is kind of a funky system we use. So let me keep you on speaker until we can get you on video. I'm going to send you a refresher link in the interim. But while we have you, let me ask you to tell us about what it is you're exploring with holography and different dimensions and stuff like that.
Yeah, what it really is I see it as a consciousness technology. That most of us, we all have consciousness, but most of us have no idea where it comes from, what it is, or how it works. And that the movement feedback holography, it's both a subconscious reprogramming technique and an embodiment process at the same time.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ways to program the subconscious, of course, right?
Yes.
But this is the only process I've ever found that can actually create embodiment, meaning getting consciousness back in the body where it's been mapped out or lost.
Are you talking about along the lines of what's that called, astral projecting and then coming back, or?
No, in a very real, grounded sense that the more consciousness you have in your body, the more you can feel and move your body, and the bigger impact you have in the world.
Fascinating.
So it's, I call it getting the toothpaste back in the tube. That as we get older, we squeeze all the toothpaste out of our tube, and we got very little to work with. And this is a process that, one, it does subconscious clearing, but at the same time, it also reconnects the neurology to the muscles and the tissue.
Interesting.
Like when I did Carl Wolf's Intensive, all of us were in our 20s and 30s, but he was almost 70. And he was more flexible and moved more smoothly and was more athletic than any of us. Crazy. And, me and a couple of the guys, we were all CrossFit athletes.
Really?
Yep. And we could not bend or move the way he could. It was amazing. So it's part spiritual awakening, part literal embodiment of consciousness, and part subconscious clearing, kind of all rolled into one.
Fascinating. So how did one you come to this, and two, how do you interact with this holographic self?
Sure. I can tell more of the story when we're live, but
sure.
Short version, I had my first major life crisis in the 90s and found energy healing in 2003, experienced a miracle, got my life back. But
wow,
it was still the same me on the inside, and I was still suffering, even though I had less pain and I could make money.
Okay.
And when I met Carl, it was literally the day after I declared bankruptcy.
Oh.
And I thought he was a kook because he had me rollerblade and just kind of criticized me and sent me home. I actually called the guy that referred me and tried to chew his butt off. And he basically said, "Give it 3 weeks, Brent." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever," right?
Right.
But it didn't even take 3 days. So I went bankrupt Monday, met Carl Tuesday. By Thursday night, I had made over $50,000 through my business.
Huh.
And I would call him back and say, "Oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry. You were right. This guy's magic."
Crazy.
So that's the short version of how I found him. And, you want to remember when I met him, I had already been a full-time energy healing practitioner for 5 years.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So it's not like I was new to the woo-woo, right?
Right.
I had done everything at that point, psych, data healing, matrix energetics, EFT, all that stuff. And this was a whole level beyond anything I'd seen before, which is why, one, I didn't understand it at first. But it's also what makes it unique. And, again, I have not found anything like it. It is the fastest process to reprogram the subconscious, and it produces, true embodiment, meaning you can feel and move and articulate your body. Ideally also the dissolving of the ego for the non-dual awareness. So they're all kind of there.
That's fascinating. So you're saying you can actually take away that nagging negative feeling that's always in the back of your head, kind of a thing?
Yeah, it's not always easy. Right? It's not a magic wand that makes everything perfect overnight.
Right.
But yes, it can fundamentally redefine the you on the inside.
That's amazing. Now, does this require changing belief systems or anything like that, or?
Only implicitly. I have other techniques I can use, what I call the second gen, that directly addresses belief systems. Okay. I would say that, things like theta healing or psyche are very powerful because they can change the subconscious code one line at a time the way a programmer would. But the movement changes entire routines. It works at a higher level of abstraction. So it's almost like coding with AI would be a good metaphor.
Oh, okay.
So again, it doesn't do all the work for you. It just works at a higher level of abstraction. So it's usually faster, easier to get there.
Okay. I get you. Wow. And for you, it took 3 days.
Yep. And that's unusual. Most people take longer.
Okay.
But some people don't.
Okay.
It's like with anything in the subconscious, how long it takes depends on how many bugs there are.
Oh,
right. If you're a giant mess, it's not all going to resolve in an hour.
Okay, gotcha.
But you can get there.
Right.
A lot of people, it's the equivalent of they got one semicolon in the wrong place and their system isn't running and they don't know why.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did a little
boom, one keystroke, recompile, it all runs beautifully.
Right. Oh, that's great. I love that idea. That's fantastic.
The difficulty is it's hard to know from the outside which one you are.
Oh, I see. Okay. So maybe walk me through the first step of that then.
Typically, I would most of my students, I start with the lower level work just because it's easier to process.
Okay.
It's understandable. But when they show an interest, I can introduce them to, the third generation work, the movement. And really, it just starts with shaking your hands in front of Zoom. And from there, I read your energy, give you feedback. beam you with the entrainment medication to put you in the proper nervous system state to receive the change. And then the reprogramming happens almost automatically as we're talking and working. And it's pretty impressive that you can see a radical change in someone's movement and energy in often 5, 10, 15 minutes.
Huh.
Though it takes a little training to get there. It's a little difficult to take someone that knows nothing and dump them into movement. It'd be like taking a smart high schooler and dropping them into an upper division engineering class at MIT. Some might be able to pull it together, but a lot will just be in over their head.
Right.
That's why I say most people I don't start there, but someone that has tons of experience, knows the inner work, has good self-awareness, can handle their shadow, then absolutely. And that's really that's really what separates the men from the boys. Can you handle your shadow?
Ah, intriguing.
So,
yes.
If you're a typical new ager that just wants everything to be shiny and happy, no, that you're not a good candidate here. This is not that. This is reality. But if you're willing to face your own shadow, you can make incredible leaps and bounds. But it's not always fun. It's not always comfortable.
Well, I imagine facing one's shadow isn't. Some of us got a lot of darkness in us,
Yep. But that's where all the value is.
Yeah.
It's a question of, do you only want to tinker around the edges? There's 1,000 things. Like psychiatry, psychology, EFT, lots of great ways to tinker around the edges. If you want to penetrate to the core, I can guide you there. Just know it's not for the faint of heart.
Okay.
But
okay.
If you're serious, it's the only tool that can do the job. Again, I don't know everyone and everything, right?
Right.
But I've been doing this full time for almost 25 years. I've never found anything that's even close.
One of our texters, one of our people in the box, first one is Casey. She says hello, and also that she agrees with you that it took years to get over and integrate after a major trauma she faced. And then our second, one of our second chat people, Heidi, one of our regulars, says that she totally agrees with you that you have to know the dark in order to see the light.
Yep. It looks like I'm on.
Not yet. It hasn't cropped up on my side. Are you? It'll probably take. Oh, and there you are. Okay, so let's hang up from the thing, and I'll bring you on the stage. Talk to you in a sec. Hey, welcome. Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool.
So, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Brent Michael Phillips. For those of you watching, and finally got him on. It's so crazy that it didn't work the first time. But we're so happy to have you here. So let's continue on with the conversation. We're pick up where we left off. You said there's a physical stuff and this is the diagnosis tool?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
It's based on the principle, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Okay.
That is kind of the core of it. In other words, if you know how to read someone's energy, it doesn't really matter what they do. You can read their energy.
Okay. Is this like aura reading?
Similar, but we're not just reading the aura. We're reading your core. We're reading your source code.
Okay.
That to reference Joseph Campbell's work, The Power of Myth. Our myths that we run inside of us are what create the context and meaning in our life. And it's all relative. So, for example, if you took a caveman through a time machine and handed him a briefcase with $1 million, he would just think it's a briefcase.
It burns good.
Right. With fire fuel. Exactly. Why? Yeah. The caveman doesn't have a money mythology. Money hadn't been invented yet.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're working with is when you move, you can read someone's behavior, personality, values, everything shows up in how they move their body.
Okay.
And we've all had an experience of this. Have you ever been around someone that struck you as creepy and dangerous?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
You were reading their energy.
Right.
Have you been around people that just seemed really relaxed and friendly and you want to give them a big hug?
Sure.
Again, you're reading their energy.
Okay, gotcha.
And the reason we use the movements is simple, that your energy presents in everything you do, everything you say, but it can be difficult to read.
Gotcha.
The movement is like a magnifying glass. It doesn't change your core, but it makes it bigger and more visible.
I see. Okay.
And one of the things about Carl was some people would criticize him that, oh, he didn't make me move. He just talked to me. Well, right. He didn't need to make you move. He could read your energy from a conversation.
Interesting. One of our
Yes. And
listeners says that she can read people if they're lying through a text, which I
yes,
find very interesting.
that is a way of reading their energy.
Yeah.
And so what we came up with is various movements that act as a magnifying glass. They make it easier to look on the inside. And my background is in software. So the
Oh,
way
so
I
this
see
really
it,
resonated with you, I bet.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
taking a peek at your source code
Gotcha.
because everything about a computer program is defined by the source code, isn't it?
Very true.
Right? You change the code, you change the program. How it behaves, where the errors are, where the bugs are, its performance, its power is
Right.
all based on the code. And humans are the same.
Yeah.
That it's funny that when I was in grad school at MIT, true story that it's brutally hot in the summer in Boston,
Yeah.
and grad students cannot afford air conditioning for the most part. So there'd be 2 or 3 nights in the summer when it'd be like 98 degrees and 99% humidity and just miserable. You just can't sleep, right?
Right. Right.
So we'd all grab sleeping bags and pillows and sleep in the server room. Why? The
That's
server
brilliant.
room was air conditioned 24/7.
Yeah, man.
Our offices were not. They didn't care about the people. They cared about the machines, right? So the
Right.
computers got air conditioning. The grad students did not. And I remember one night I was laying there watching the computer and it struck me, wow, a human is just like a computer. That your
Yeah.
body is the hardware. The
Interesting.
nervous system and the subconscious mind is the software.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I had that realization and I put it aside. And then about 10 years later, when I had my first experience of an instant healing with energy healing that
Hmm.
totally transformed my life, I realized, oh my gosh, I was right. And the way it works is we all have codes inside of us in the subconscious that determine how our lives work out. We have a program for physical health, a program for mental health, a program for how much money you make. We call that the subconscious financial thermostat.
Hmm.
We have a program for how much free time, your level of happiness, your satisfaction, your sense of fulfillment and purpose, on and on and on, right?
Right.
And this is also fascinating because what I learned was first I learned how to change the code one line at a time. And that
Hmm.
was cool. That was what I call second gen work, things like EFT, theta healing, Psych K, emotion code, right?
Right.
And that's very useful and powerful. You will see medical miracles from that work for sure. Why? You're rewriting the source code to your body.
Fascinating.
This is how people instantly heal from cancer.
Yeah.
I've
We've heard of
seen
that.
40 some instant healings from cancer in my career.
That's amazing.
I've only worked on one person with HIV, but he went totally undetectable after 3 sessions.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. That's
And
amazing.
so I've seen this work occur. But
Have you worked with any diabetics?
yes,
I'm one.
I've had a lot of success with type 2.
Okay, I have
I've
that.
only worked with one person with type 1 diabetes. We did 2 sessions. I was not able to fully reverse the type 1 diabetes. However, the reason he came to me was he was a type 1 diabetic who was allergic to insulin.
Oh
Can you
no.
imagine?
Oh no.
And
That's
he
so
would
bad.
get a big painful rash every time he injected himself, but he had to survive.
Right. Oh
So
no.
I'll be honest, I was not able in 2 hours to reverse type 1 diabetes, but we completely healed his allergy.
Oh good.
It
Oh
made a
wow.
huge difference in his quality of life. So he still needed insulin, but his body tolerated it,
That's
which was amazing.
fantastic. That is amazing. That
And
really
the
is.
trouble is that the second gen work, changing the code one line at a time, is really powerful and valuable. I still do it myself, but it doesn't change the you on the inside.
Okay.
That is what the higher level work, the movement, the beaming, the awakening is for. It completely redefines how you think of what you are and
Is
how
this
you relate to the world.
I'm sorry. My question that's fantastic. My question is this along the lines of having the mindset that you are a pilot within the brain piloting a body? Is this
Yeah,
the general idea?
I think that's a good metaphor.
Okay.
That the way I would put it is the mind helps you find your direction.
Okay.
The mind, through its map of mythologies, says this is where I am and this is where I want to be. But the mind alone cannot take you there.
Okay.
It would be like you want to get across town, so you call an Uber. You go,
Okay.
this is my address now, this is where I want to be.
Huh?
That's the mind. But a
Okay.
car has to still show up, and you get in the car, still has to take you there.
And that's where you and your practitioners come in.
The body must take you there.
Okay.
The body is the only thing that can move you.
Okay.
So yes, the mind, it orients you, gives you a direction. And the body then needs to be empowered to actually do the work to take you there. Because, for example, you may have a great idea for a book.
Mm.
That's nice. But a book does not directly spring out of your mind into print.
Very true.
You got to sit at a computer and type it or dictate it, get an editor, all that. Even
Right.
using AI, that just shortcuts it. It doesn't eliminate it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm an author, so I know where
You know
speak.
exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's a
Yeah.
lot of work. And guess what? Your body is doing the work, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The mind is, we don't yet have a direct brain to computer interface. Maybe someday.
When it's safe, yes.
Yeah, when it's safe. And even then, if you want to print the book, you still need a physical medium.
Yes.
Even an ebook, you need a reader, don't you?
Yes, you do. Yes. Very good.
So,
Very nice.
yes, I think your metaphor is quite accurate. And I see my job, I'm kind of like the lighthouse.
Okay.
The lighthouse doesn't tell the ships where to go. It just lights the way so they can see where they want to go and choose to go there. Because most people are in darkness in their life.
Yeah.
Most people don't know exactly where they are, and they don't know exactly where they want to be. And that's my job, is to help you figure out, okay, where are you? Where do you want to go to? And how do we get you there?
Fascinating. Man,
You know,
that's
imagine a ship along the shore. Without a lighthouse, it doesn't know where it is.
yeah.
You could be miles out to sea, or you could crash into the rocks. You have no idea.
This is true.
So the lighthouse has no agenda or opinion. It just illuminates.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That's
I
kind of
totally
what I
get
want to
that.
do for people.
That's fantastic. That's excellent. Perfectly put. I think I'm getting chills over here. It's fantastic. Fantastic stuff. And you and I are on the same wavelength with a lot of this stuff, I think, which is wonderful. Who was Carl? Because you get mentoring Carl.
Sure.
I don't know
Yes,
who that is
he's
exactly.
my late mentor. His name was Dr. Carl Wolf.
Carl Wolf. Okay.
Yes. And I'll say, if everyone's going to go Google him now, of course, just be careful. What he's best known for is his work in the ancient aliens community.
Oh, I thought the name sounded familiar. Okay.
So you may have seen him on the History Channel before.
Right, right.
And what happened was, he was in the Air Force, and he ended up becoming an engineer, and he was in the control room when Apollo, I think Apollo 12 first went on the dark side of the moon.
Okay.
And what he said was there were artificial structures there.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's what he's known for that 5 minutes of his life. That was it. It was just like a little 5-minute window. He's done keynote speakers at conventions, been on TV, yada, yada.
Yeah, it's an intense 5 minutes, though.
Yes. Yeah, it was an intense 5 minutes for sure. What I know him for was that after the Air Force, he worked for Siemens, the big engineering company. And when he was 27 years old, he was a vice president in charge of 2,000 people.
Okay.
He was the youngest vice president in the history of the company. Okay. And he woke up one day and knew that he couldn't do it anymore. And he just had this something inside of him he could not deny.
What was the epiphany that moved him?
It was, he always knew there was something different about him.
Oh.
That when he was born, he died and came back.
Oh, like as an infant? Really?
Yep. When he was born, he was dead for 2.5 minutes. And he said he fully remembered it. He died. He crossed over to the veil. He saw the other side. He chose to come back.
Huh.
And when he was a teenager, he started to see his powers emerge, but he didn't understand it. He had no context for it.
Okay. Okay.
So he would see people's past lives on their face. He would be able to look in your body and go, there's a problem there. But didn't understand how it was working. And then when he was 27, he had this awakening that I cannot be an engineer. This is not my calling. So what he did was he quit his job, threw everything he owned in the back of his VW Bug, drove from Ithaca to San Francisco,
Okay.
rented an apartment. And this was, I think, 1972, 73, something like that,
Okay.
74, some point mid 70s. And he was curious about meditation. And that's why he had moved there. He knew he had to do something with, meditation, mind power, something like that.
Sure.
And he bought a book on transcendental meditation.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he had such a massive Kundalini experience, he collapsed onto the floor and was paralyzed.
Really?
He could not walk for 3 years. And if you look at the literature, there's a lot of stories of the siddhas and masters from India where they have a Kundalini experience and they collapse like that.
For those who don't know in our audience, can you define a Kundalini experience?
The Kundalini is the spinal energy. It's sort of the core life energy that circulates up and down the spine.
Okay.
And a lot of meditation and Eastern practices, Buddhism and Hinduism, etc., are about cultivating and opening your Kundalini, your life force.
Is that along the same lines as the chi and the ki and all that?
Yeah, the life force would be another term for some call it prana, chi, ki.
Right.
I see it all pretty much the same thing.
Gotcha.
So he had this radical Kundalini experience where his energy just blasted wide open. And he took him 3 years to learn how to move his body again. And it was a dance teacher in San Francisco that could see into his energy and was able to teach him what became what today we call movement feedback holography. And
that's what you're practicing right now.
That's exactly what we're practicing.
Okay.
And what he told me, I wasn't there. I was like 3 years old at the time. So this is all secondhand from Carl.
Gotcha.
But what he told me was he did his movements 3 hours every day for 3 years. And he not only regained the ability to walk, he had a new mastery and ability to feel and use his body beyond what he had before.
That's incredible.
That's the embodiment that I was talking about.
Okay.
And it's not just an abstract woo-woo sense, it's the nervous system.
And it's physical too, I imagine.
Yes.
It's kind of like Tai Chi almost.
Yes, it's absolutely very physical.
Okay.
But movement is not exercise. Movement is about reconnecting to your body.
Yeah.
And to give a simple example so everyone can understand that we all have hands and feet, right?
Right.
It's probably not very difficult for you to move one of your fingers, is it?
No.
At a time. That's not hard, right?
Right.
Now I want to see you do that with your toes.
If I do that, I gotta sit way back.
But
I understand.
one toe,
I can do the big toe maybe.
Maybe the big toe. I'd love to see you move your middle toe.
Good luck.
Independent of the others.
No, I know I can't
You
do
can't.
it.
Here's what's wild. Did you know the hands and the feet have nearly identical anatomy?
Yeah.
They
I
have the
did.
same bones, the same muscles, the same tendons. It's the same. Why? We evolved from four-legged ancestors.
Yep.
So the hands and the feet have the same anatomy. The only reason you can't move your toes like you move your fingers is lack of consciousness. That
Okay.
your nervous system has disconnected from the toes.
Hmm.
And it's literally we're getting your nervous system to reconnect to your own body. That is the consciousness. So the reason you can move your fingers is there's a lot of consciousness in your fingers.
Does consciousness also equal use?
Yes.
Okay.
Functionality for sure.
Okay.
And that's why I mentioned when I went through his intensive life training, he was, I think, 68 or 69. I was 39, almost everyone there. And I was probably the oldest one in the group.
Gotcha.
And he was more flexible and could bend and move his body more easily than all of the young people.
That's amazing.
And it was amazing that when he died, he was at the end of a 30-mile bike ride at 77 years old.
Wow.
And some guy in a truck lost control and hit him from behind.
I was going to ask, how did he pass? But okay, golly. It wasn't because his body failed him. It's because someone else hit him. Oh, gosh.
Right. If he had not been literally hit by a truck,
Right.
he could have lived to 100. But he's not the only one that can do it. if you look at a lot of the martial arts masters,
Oh, sure.
some of them are 75, 85 years old. They run and jump and bounce around like a teenager.
Yeah, they do. I've seen
Why?
some of the old guys. Yeah.
They have put the consciousness into their body
Yeah.
through martial arts training. So, and that was actually my introduction to this. My real spiritual introduction was martial arts.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
When I was in college.
I can relate. I was
Yeah.
I started martial arts just after high school.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so it was so funny how decades later I reconnected to it. And I still to this day, I say the most important thing I learned in my 3 degrees and 6.5 years at MIT was martial arts.
Hmm.
All the classroom stuff was great, but that was just building up the mind.
Yeah.
But martial arts taught me how to inhabit my body. It was embodiment, is pure and simple. But the embodiment, there is more to it than just the embodiment. That's a big piece of it. There's also the feedback loop, which is critical. That when I had my first session with Carl, it was the funniest thing. Again, remember, I had been a full-time energy healing practitioner for 5 years.
Is this Reiki or something like that?
And
or?
I had done Reiki and pranic
Reiki,
healing and
excuse
theta
me.
healing and Psyche and matrix energetics. I'd done all these things. And that's all good stuff in its own way. But I had never done anything like Carl's work.
Okay.
And my friend Brian kept telling me, Brent, you got to go work with Carl. You got to work with Carl. And my last $500 before bankruptcy, I spent on a session with Carl. And I'm like, oh, well, here's my last $500. And it was the craziest thing. Like I said, on Monday, I declared bankruptcy. On Tuesday, I had my first session with Carl. He said, Brent, meet me at the rollerblade station on Venice Beach. And I'm like, that's weird, right?
Yeah.
I expected him to have an office in a healing center, right?
Right.
Or maybe work out of his home. I was looking for someone wearing crystals with a Buddha statue and a bead curtain, right? But instead, he had me rent rollerblades. He had me rollerblade around the parking lot for 20 minutes while he videotaped me.
Mm.
Then we sat in his car and watched the video, and he just criticized me. That's what I felt, right?
Okay. Okay.
He
was
like,
evaluating.
Yeah. He was saying, you can't feel your left leg here, and you're out of relationship to your past over here. And it was just that.
Hmm.
We sat in his car for 30, 35 minutes. And then he was like, nice to meet you. We're done. And I was furious.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything to Carl because I wanted to be polite, but I went home and called Brian to chew his butt off.
Right.
Because this did not look anything like healing that I understood.
Gotcha.
That's the point. So different, right?
Yeah, that is different. Yeah.
And like I mentioned, what happened was, so that was Tuesday. I met Carl, had my first movement session.
Mm.
On Wednesday, I had a radio gig. And it wasn't a new thing. I was a frequent guest on Lisa Garr on The Aware Show, KPFK in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And about every 6 months, I'd go on her show, talk about energy healing. I'd then have an event the next night. People would show up. I'd give a talk, do a demonstration, maybe pick up a few clients. And up to that point, I had done her show, 4, 5, 6 times.
Okay.
I would have 5, 10, maybe 15 people show up. So it was cool, but it's not like I was getting rich off of it, right?
Right. Right.
For some reason, that week, the day after the session with Carl, I went on the radio. Thursday night, I showed up at the Bodhi Tree Annex in West Hollywood, where I gave a lot of talks. There was 135 people there.
Oh,
They were crammed in shoulder to shoulder, like a rock concert. There was a line out the door 30 minutes before I was supposed to start. And I thought they had double booked me with Wayne Dyer or something, right?
Oh, okay. Right.
I'm like, oh, crap. These people can't be here for me. This is impossible. There must have been a screw up, right? No, they were there for me.
Oh, wow.
And by the end of the presentation, I had made over
I don't know if it's
for
on
my
my
next
side.
seminar.
Oh, look at that.
I had booked out my private session schedule for 6 weeks, fully booked. And I went home and I called Brian. I'm like, dude, I am so sorry. You were right. This Carl guy, this movement is magic. And that's what I call the third generation work. That it really rewrites who you are from the inside out in a really profound way.
And all you really did was rollerblade around for 20 minutes.
That's all I did. That's why I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
But I'll
Well, now-
tell you, It took
Okay.
me 10 years, but I finally found the missing piece.
Okay.
It was a meditative piece.
The repetitive motion?
No, it was
No?
it's all done with the mind. What Carl calls it his beaming meditation.
Okay.
It's a form of quantum field entrainment. And
Interesting.
it lowers your brainwave to theta and synchronizes the hemispheres
Okay.
and increases vagal tone and
Okay.
rebalances the hormones all at once. What it feels like when you're sensitive to it is everything feels more okay.
Yeah.
Now, there's fun aspects to it too. You will see auras with your open eyes. You will see people's past lives appear. You can see into the future and the past. You can hear the song of the stars.
Oh,
It's really
that's
wild
nice.
stuff. You can see in the dark at night without light. That's deeper. That's not for day one, right? That's like day 100. But I've experienced all these things.
Oh,
And
that's
here's the
amazing.
thing. When I first met Carl, I was so stuck in my head, I was not sensitive to it.
Gotcha.
So I didn't realize there was this meditative entrainment going on the whole time. And so each piece in isolation does very little. So you can go shake your hands all day long.
Right.
All that's going to happen is your hands are going to get tired, right?
Yeah.
But you add the feedback in, someone's reading your code and telling you what it is. That collapses the myth and opens you to a new level of healing and performance. And it only works because of the entrainment meditation going on in the background.
Fascinating.
And another one of the success stories, this was Carl's client, not mine. He worked with a man who was a professional swimmer. And he had never placed higher than 8th in any international competition.
Okay.
And he was on the English swim team for I think it was the 2012 Olympics. Not 100% on that, but
Okay. Still.
one of the Olympics recently. And he had one session with Carl. Then he went to the Olympics and won a silver medal. So that's something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not made up, because if it was made up, it would have been a gold medal. It wasn't. He won silver.
Good point.
But
Good point.
that was still amazing, huh?
From 8th to silver? Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah. And
That's
but
excellent.
mostly Carl worked with regular people. Though he worked with a lot of people in Hollywood.
That kind of makes
And
sense.
I'm not one to name drop, but I can guarantee you would recognize some of the names of the people he worked with. He even inspired a character on The Simpsons.
Did he really?
There was the episode where there was the therapist with the video camera.
I'm trying to see.
It was in the 90s, I think.
Okay.
And it was a very quick thing, right?
Yeah.
It was just like, 10 seconds of it. But that was Carl,
Okay.
because he was the therapist with the video camera.
Gotcha.
He was the inspiration for that character.
That's incredible.
And he worked with a lot of writers in particular.
Mm.
And the goal was simple, that when you get your brain and body in the proper state, and someone reads your energy and tells you what's really going on in your life, things heal and change automatically.
Yeah.
And I had never experienced that before. In fact, one of the reasons I was upset with Carl after my first session was he didn't do anything to fix me. I wanted him to pray over me or tap on me,
right,
or give me a supplement, or
right,
at least smack me in the forehead and yell hallelujah. But he didn't do any of those things. It was just, I rollerbladed. We watched the video. He criticized me. Nice to meet you, Brent. Thank you for the $500.
So that was what, an hour, basically?
Yeah, it was about an hour the whole
process.
Yeah. Yep. And again, I was upset because I did not understand what he was doing. It was so out there, right?
Yeah.
And it was funny. It took me a long time to figure it out. That when I was first introduced to energy healing, it took me 1 year from my first session to when I was teaching it.
Wow.
Which is fast, but not unreasonable. Right?
Not unreasonable. No, you remind me of another client.
Practicing every day, right?
Yeah.
I took like 6 weekend seminars, practice groups every Monday, all day every Saturday, trades on my own. So still hundreds and hundreds of hours of work. In a year, I was teaching it. With Carl's work, it took me 6 years.
That
before
seems
I was comfortable teaching it.
Oh, I see. So it was based on your comfort level, not about your
Well,
actual ability
I
to
wasn't
heal.
going to teach something I didn't fully understand.
That makes sense.
And that was just my personal ethics.
Okay.
That I didn't just want to read off a script and hope it worked.
That
Which,
makes sense.
that's how a lot of us start, right?
Yeah.
That's how I started when I took my first energy healing class. I was basically reading off a script and hoping things would work. But by the time I was teaching it, I understood it. I grokked it. It made sense to me.
Gotcha.
I could see what was going on. It took me 6 years with Carl's work. But eventually I figured out what he was doing. And it was amazing. For a while, we used to co-teach all of our advanced classes together.
Okay.
And we were a great team because Carl had these incredible abilities, but he didn't really understand what he was doing or how it worked.
How's that?
And well, that's what I found with most of the masters I've worked with, that with most of them, they have some kind of natural talent or ability
I see what you're saying.
that they have leveraged and developed into a system, a process, etc. Right?
Sure. Hmm.
But they don't really understand it. They may have theories, but my background is in engineering and science.
Right.
I wanted to take it apart and figure out how it worked. Right?
Yeah.
I was that kid that you bought me my first radio. I immediately
You
took
tore
it
it apart.
Right. I'm like, this is so cool. How does it work?
Right.
And that's what I did with energy healing. It's what they taught me at MIT. You work with it, you take it apart, you figure out how it works, then you put it back together and make it better.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's really the essence of the MIT way. Figure it out, then synthesize the next step.
Okay.
And that's what that's my goal with energy healing and consciousness work, is to give people the understanding they need. This is how it works. These are the rules. And the good analogy I like is electricity. That primitive humans weren't stupid. They just didn't have technology.
Right.
They were aware that they could see a lightning bolt in the sky during a storm, right?
Right.
They knew what electricity was. It was a mystery. Well, in the 19th century, we figured it out. Maxwell and Tesla and Edison and those guys, right?
Right.
We figured out how electricity works, and then we turned it into technology. Electric lights, electric appliances, computers, the internet, electric cars, your cell phone, all that. And so today, it would be almost unimaginable to live without electricity, huh?
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
Yeah. 200 years ago, there was no electricity other than lightning storms and static shocks. So look at how much our lives have changed from just that one piece of technology.
That's true.
I want to do that with
Go ahead.
consciousness.
Oh,
I
that'd
want
be,
to
yeah.
figure out how it works. There are laws in terms of that govern consciousness.
Yeah.
Just like the law of gravity, the law of electromagnetism. There are metaphysical laws. And when you understand those laws, you can figure out how it works and build technology with it. And that's what I've done with Carl's work in particular.
So that's interesting. How did you go about, as you say, you tore it apart?
Yep.
You basically quantified each step.
As best I could. Yes.
Oh, man. You're a smart individual.
Well, I was given an insatiable curiosity from birth. I've always been that person who wants to understand how it works. And, there are, as I would say, a metaphor would be your car.
Right.
Cars are great, right?
Right.
Most people just want to drive their car. They don't particularly care how the engine works. When I was in high school, I took auto shop 4 times. Why? I love cars. I wanted to know how it worked.
Gotcha.
I love to tear apart the engine and then put it back together and make it better.
That's me and
my
computers.
My father was an engineer. Both my
When I was a
grandfathers
kid.
were engineers.
Oh, fantastic. So you had a background in it. That's
yeah,
great.
that's just how I was made, right?
Right.
And then when I, by accident, discovered energy healing, I brought that same curiosity. I'm like, I don't just want to memorize your script and hope it works. I want to open the hood and figure out what's really going on here behind the curtains. And, just so we're fair, 90% of my students and clients don't particularly care how the engine works either. They just want the results for their life, right? And I have no problem
Right.
with that.
Right.
10-15% are like, hey, I need to figure this stuff out. And those are the people I'm most interested in working with, right?
Yeah.
And that's
I
why I
hear
have two different paths through my material. There we have what we call the quick start. That is, just give me what I need. I just want to get started and see the results. And that's one path. The other path is a lot more training. It's 10 times as much material, but that's making you a master.
Okay.
If you want to really understand consciousness, energy, manifesting the brain, the nervous system, all these things, then there's a much longer path, but you'll come out with a much higher level of skill.
Fascinating. Our friend, I think I mispronounced her name earlier. It's Carre. Says that she taught herself to read before kindergarten. That's impressive. And dissected everything and everyone to understand this reality. I find that fascinating. So she's kind of doing what you did basically.
Yeah, I remember, I think I was 2 years old, maybe 3.
Yeah.
I decided one day I wanted to learn how to tell time. And I still remember it like it was yesterday. I had an analog clock and a digital clock.
Oh my
And I
god.
just looked back and forth until I figured it out.
That's me too, dude. That's
Yeah.
exactly what happened to me. I was like 3 or something like
Yeah.
that.
And then I'm like, okay, I got it. I knew how to tell time. Same thing
Yeah.
with letters. I remember my parents got me this little magnetic blackboard
Yeah.
with magnetic letters you could put on, right?
Okay.
And I remember I sat down, I said, I want to learn how to read and write. And I just sat there for hours until I got it.
Huh.
And so by the time I started kindergarten, I could read novels like an adult.
That's incredible.
And, I mean, that was just my gift. I had a lot of weaknesses too.
Yep.
I mean, I have autism.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. I didn't
Is
know
it
that either till I was, in my middle age.
so?
But absolutely.
If I may ask, what type of autism? I know there's different
Yeah.
variations.
They call me high functioning autism or Asperger's syndrome.
Really,
And the way I would describe it is pretty simple.
Okay.
There's a slice of reality that I see that most people are blind to.
Right.
There's another big slice of reality that I'm blind to that everyone else sees.
Interesting. Now, do you think your to call it a condition? I don't want to call it a condition, but I don't have another word for it in my head. Do you think that has helped you with this stuff? Because that is to
it's a blessing and a
quantify.
curse.
Yeah, it's both.
Could I have done what I've done without it? No, I don't think so.
Interesting.
Though
Interesting.
without it, I might have made more money and been happier. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a trade-off there, isn't it?
There's absolutely a trade-off.
Yeah. So, okay, that's incredible though. I mean, that's amazing. And that's probably I find I'm sorry, how's it pronounced? Asperger's?
Asperger's, yeah.
Asperger's. The level of dedicated focus is like a laser beam in given areas of interest.
When I was a video game developer, my partners used to joke, a bomb could go off in the office and I wouldn't even notice.
Because you're into what you're doing.
Because I was so in the zone.
Okay, gotcha.
I would be totally lost in my work.
That's
and
amazing.
That, by the way, is how I destroyed my body.
Really?
I so completely disassociated from my body, I didn't realize how much damage I was doing to it.
So you just too much sitting? You're just always there at the chair?
Too much sitting, too much typing.
Gotcha.
Being frozen in position for hours and hours around the clock every single day for years.
Gotcha.
And it ruined my body.
Yeah.
So again, there's an upside and a downside.
Yeah. That's a heavy duty trade-off. You look like you're in better condition now, I guess.
I am doing better now.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. In some ways, I'm healthier than I was 25 years ago when I started this journey into healing.
Oh, that's good.
Certainly happier.
Yeah.
Older for sure, right? My vision isn't as good.
Right.
It's harder to lose weight. I mean, my endurance isn't what it used to be.
Right.
Like in martial arts. It used to be I could do 2-3 hours of sparring and I'd be fine as a young man.
Yeah.
Now I do 2 minutes and I'm gassed and laying on the floor.
I hear you there too.
Doesn't stop me. It's just I have to take more breaks than the young people. Right?
I'm just breathing harder.
Right. I can still kick like a mule. Right.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, and I spar way above my rank.
Oh, good.
Because
Excellent.
everyone just sees the old stiff guy, and then I kick him in the head, and they're like, "What? How'd you do that?" I'm like,
Where'd that come from?
"Yeah." I'm like,
Yeah.
and especially because at my school, I'm only a purple belt, but I have black belts in other arts.
Oh, gotcha.
So they just see old guy with a purple belt.
Oh,
This will be easy, right? Yeah.
right.
But
How many
I
different
can fight
arts?
first and second degrees and hold my own.
Oh, excellent. Good for you. What arts
Third,
do you
fourth,
study?
fifth degrees beat me. I'm not that good. I'm not Superman.
I understand. What arts do you follow? What are your disciplines in?
I did a lot of Taekwondo.
Oh, me too. That's where I
That's
started.
what I started with. I did
Yeah.
a lot of Aikido too.
Me too. I moved
And
to
the
Aikido after Taekwondo.
Yep, the Aikido was very interesting to me because it was very spiritual and internal.
Yeah.
Taekwondo is more of a sport.
Yes, I agree
There
with
is
that
a
analysis.
martial and spiritual aspect, but it's primarily a sport, which is fine.
Yeah.
Aikido is more of an inner spiritual.
Yeah.
And then in the late 90s, I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, good for you. That's
Because
a good art to get into.
when I met Master Joe Moreira, he had just moved to LA from Brazil.
Oh,
And
okay.
I had heard about on the internet Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. No one had heard of it, right? This was like
Right.
1992.
Sure.
And I went to the local martial arts store and I said, "Is there anyone that teaches Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?" The guy said, "Yeah, call Joe." He barely spoke English. He charged $20 an hour for private lessons with a master.
Okay.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And the first lesson, he said, "What do you want to learn?" I'm like, "If I come at you with this combo, what would you do?" Right?
Yeah.
So I came at him. The room spun. I slammed into the mat and I was choked. I was like, "Oh crap." Then I'm like, "Okay, what happens if I do this?" Right? And the room spun and he's got me in an armbar.
I gotcha.
And I was like, "Oh my God," because I thought I was a badass.
Right.
I had a black belt. I was in good shape. I was young. I lifted weights. Right.
Sure.
But he just tossed me around like I was a wet rag.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh my God, teach me this." And it was crazy. I was also doing judo at the time.
Oh.
That I had 3 lessons with Master Joe. And from 3 hours with him, I could wrestle judo black belts to a standstill.
Nice.
Yes. And everyone was like, "What the hell happened to you?" Right? Because I was a white belt in judo at the time. I'd been doing it for like a month.
Gotcha.
Then I went on winter break, trained with Joe. I came back and I was beating all the color belts and I could wrestle the black belts to a standstill.
That's amazing.
So, but yeah, so that was amazing. But I got knocked out of jiu-jitsu for the same reason everyone does. I got injured.
Yeah, I get it. I get that
So,
completely.
I loved it, but it's a young man's game for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Their elder division starts at 35.
That's true. That used to be older too.
Yeah.
Back in the day, but not anymore.
Right. Their normal division is 18 to 34.
Right.
Once you're 35, you're an elder.
You're an
Yes. Which when I was 24, I was fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm in my 50s. It seems a little funny, right?
Yeah, it does.
Like I'm not that old.
Yeah, come on, man.
Right.
Yeah, you and I are roughly the same age, from what I've gathered. So I completely understand where you're coming from on that. My discipline was started out in Taekwondo, and then brief teachings of Aikido thanks to the Air Force, which I said Aikido. I didn't mean Aikido. Kempo.
Kempo. Okay.
Couldn't get into Kempo. Man, I did not like that form. No offense to anyone who knows it or whatever, but not for me. Then I got into Aikido after that. God, sorry, I got a lash or something here. And that was eye-opening for me, Aikido. I loved it. It was such a departure.
Aspect to it, isn't there?
It really is. It's such a departure from Taekwondo. I mean, it's an art meant to kick people off horses. That was the whole reason it was created, to dismount riders on horses. But when you get to Aikido, the circles, and watching the old tapes of O-Sensei when he brought it all together. Oh my God, he's taking on 20 guys at once and they don't know what to do. It's amazing. Just amazing. Oh, I'm getting chills again just thinking about it. It's great.
Yeah, O-Sensei, Morihei Ueshiba, one of my heroes.
Oh, me too.
He was a modern day master for sure.
Former samurai. Learned the old ways of the samurai before he brought that down from the mountain, so to speak.
Did you hear the story about how he survived World War I?
No.
That he fought in World War I.
Yeah.
And what he said was he could see the streams of light where the bullets were going to be before they were fired.
Oh,
So he would
man.
simply move out of the way of this light streams as he crossed the battlefield.
Oh, my
And that was the same way he did Aikido. He could see people's energy before they started moving.
Yeah,
And he knew what you were going to do before you did.
that's amazing.
It was.
We,
It was a
you,
whole nother level.
you probably went through a similar training task, whatever they called it, where you had to sense your enemy from behind or your attacker from behind. I got very good at that. Very
Yes.
good at that. How did you see that coming? I just did. It was the closest I ever came to being a Star Wars Jedi.
No, one of the things I did with Carl on a retreat once, he came to my hotel room at midnight. I was just falling asleep. I'm like, what do you want? Right?
Yeah.
He's like, Brent, follow me. I'm like, yes, sir. Right? Being a good student.
Yeah.
He took me out to a path through the woods. It was like dense forest canopy.
Mm.
You could not see your hand in front of your face. Right?
Okay.
And he said, follow my energy. So I had to beam myself into the right state, and I could see a white mist. That was his energy in total darkness.
Huh.
And I followed him for almost a mile. However, there was one point where he said, Brent, stop, take 3 steps back, turn to your right, continue. So I did it. And when we got to the end, I said, well, that was really weird, Carl. Cool, like Jedi stuff, right? But I asked, why did you tell me to stop? He said, oh, you were about to walk off a cliff.
That's funny you mentioned that. That's amazing, by the way. But it's funny you mentioned
Don't
that.
try this at home.
No, you don't. I had I had just gotten into Aikido when a bunch of my friends went on a night hike, very similar to what you did. I mean, no flashlights, nothing. We were going to a very specific spot because we wanted to look at the city lights from this bluff, right? So, and this is somewhere in the Saratoga Hills. And so we're walking along, and I suddenly realized I could see the trees, like the branches hanging down. It's like, low bridge. Tim, how'd you know that was there? You couldn't see that? And I was reading its energy. And same thing. We had this gouge in the path. And I said, oh, we're going to have to jump over this. What are you talking about? There's a gouge in the path right here. You don't see it? Yeah, so.
Because your body doesn't need light to see, is what it comes down to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it was fact just last night I go with my son to Taekwondo, and we did a blind self-defense drill.
And
You
one of those
close your
H
eyes, you put a blinder on,
Yeah.
and then someone comes and grabs you, and you have to get out of it without seeing.
Gotcha.
I was the only one. It didn't bother me at all. I could feel where they were coming from.
Nice.
And from all my Aikido and Jiu-Jitsu work, I don't need to see you. Once you touch my body, I know everything I need to know.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is easy. Everyone else was freaking out. This is so scary. I don't know what to do. I'm like, really? But yes, in martial arts, they teach you that sense. That's what Carl had. That's
amazing.
embodiment. It seems supernatural. It's not. I would say my smartphone, if you took this through a time machine back 100 years,
Yeah.
it would seem supernatural, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would be, is this an alien artifact? Is it magic? Is it the devil?
Right,
No,
right,
it's just
right.
technology.
Yeah.
And in the future, I believe everyone will be able to do these things. This will be taught in school.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, that's my vision for the future.
That's
Learn
amazing.
how to be a human. Use your consciousness. I think everyone should learn it, should become a healer. Why not? We all have the ability. Just like I think everyone should learn to play an instrument. Why not?
Yeah.
It's not that hard. It's a lot of fun. It's good for you, right?
Right.
And what I tell my students is, if you do a couple hours of training with me, even if you only do one healing on yourself the rest of your life, isn't that worth it?
That's
I think
a very
so.
good point. Yeah, it would be, especially if it works.
Right.
And
I want to be honest, this is not a magic wand that makes everything be exactly how you want. But it does create effects that we call miracles because we don't understand the technology. I want to decode it and go, it's not a miracle, it's technology. This is how it works.
And
Just like
it's
to a caveman,
biological.
This is a miracle, right?
And it's biological coding, as you said.
Yes.
Fantastic.
The body has laws and governs it. And most of what's wrong in our life is simple. It's a software problem.
Gotcha.
It's your
Well,
nervous
let's.
system and your subconscious.
Fantastic. Okay, we're going to take a short break, everyone. Brent, give us 2 minutes and 23 seconds, and we'll be back in a little bit. Stay tuned, everyone. This is the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans and 105.3 in the Gulf Coast. UPRN talkradio.com. Esoteric programming at its finest.
Long ago in the ancient world, the Tribus Omnis Lux, later known as the Tridents, were celebrated heroes, defenders of humanity against unspeakable monsters. Today, they continue that sacred duty in secret, hunting the dark evils that lurk just beyond the shadows. They are the Trident of Light.
And we'll be right back after this. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim Sudano, host of Paranormal Insight, a weekly video magazine that reaches 500,000 viewers and listeners every week on average, and the number is only growing. Connect your brand with our curious, dedicated audience who want authentic content and authentic brands. For further information on putting your brand on the show, contact me directly at paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com. That's paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. Today we're going to talk about the strange and the unusual. Check out our Patreon. Get deeper behind-the-scenes insights. Also, tips into being a better paranormal investigator and other fascinating content. Follow us on Instagram at paranormal.insight. Stay informed on upcoming shows, see what paranormal trends we're following, and help us reach 50,000 followers by liking, following, and sharing. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube at paranormal_insight. Click the live tab to see our latest videos. There we go, we're back. The internet's kind of goofy today. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim Sedano. This is Paranormal Insight, and with me is Brent Michael Phillips. He's the founder of the Awakening Dynamics. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's really tiny print. I can't redo that well. Welcome back to the show. Someone said, what's your information? So I'm going to ask you to tell everyone about you and your work and where they can reach you.
Sure. So I'm going to give everyone 2 easy resources. So for anyone that just wants to learn more, browse at your own pace, check out my YouTube channel. Got a couple hundred videos on all sorts of different topics. You can learn a lot more about me and my work and how I think about things. So just go to YouTube, type in my name, Brent Michael Phillips, it should come right up.
Easy.
For those that are called to this at a deeper level, if you think that this is something that might really fit you, I'll invite everyone, check out my website. Really simple. Just go to awakeningdynamics.com. So that's awakeningdynamics.com. And if you forget, you can probably just Google Brent Michael Phillips website. It'll come right up. That has a little more information about my various programs and things. And I do want to make an offer for the listeners here. But I want to be clear that this is only for those that are serious. That I will talk to you for 20 minutes for free to see if you're a good fit. And there's a button right on my website. I just want to say, if you're serious and you're willing to spend time and money on this, I will talk to you. Because I don't want people spending a bunch of time or money on something that's not going to deliver good value to them. I'm not the right teacher for everybody. That I would say, if you just want someone to give you a big hug and tell you it's okay, don't come to me.
Right.
I can do that, but I don't like to. I'm an engineer. I solve problems.
Gotcha.
So if you want to look under the hood, if you want to experience what I have found to be the most advanced technologies for personal development, I would love to talk to you to see if you're a good fit. And I will give a personalized recommendation because I got so many programs and books, right? I've written 6 books. I have a 7th coming in a month or 2.
Excellent.
And I'll give you the title right now. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, please do.
It's called The Cosmos as Play, Approaching Higher Truth by Killing Monsters and Taking Their Stuff. And it started as a Dungeons and Dragons game.
Get out. Really? I love
And it
D&D.
turned into the deepest and most profound exploration of metaphysics, cosmology, identity, consciousness that I've ever had in my life. And I'm
Wow.
taking the transcript and publishing it as a book.
That's great.
And I call it my accidental book.
Okay.
I didn't mean to write it. I was just playing D&D to have fun over the holidays. And it turned into something totally different.
You found a
So
deeper
that'll
meaning.
be my next book coming, again, 2-3 months out. Still got a lot of editing, formatting. You're an author, you get it, right?
I get it.
There's a gigantic chunk of work between your manuscript and publishing.
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle of that.
Excellent.
But the biggest thing is my website has different starter programs for people. So I would say, hey, if you just want to spend $20 to get started, go to my website. There's a lot of different ways. I have live events once a month. I offer my movement sessions. I have a group movement session 1 time a month, usually the first Monday. It's just $20. For those that want to go deeper, I have 2 tracks people go on. One is the quick start. That's for people that are like, hey, Brent, just teach me what I need to get started. That's about 5-6 hours. We'll teach you everything you need to know, how to get to theta, how to do a subconscious reprogram, how to manifest, the basics of movement and beaming. That's all you need to start working at the highest level. I also have the master's program. That's about 60 hours. So much bigger chunk of work,
Yeah.
but that will give you the skill and knowledge of a master healer in about 6 weeks. So if you want to know how it works, you want to go deep, you want to be a practitioner or teach this or practice it, I have that path too. And my goal is simple, that I have turned my business inside out the last 5 years. I used to focus on selling information.
Oh,
Take my class, read my book, listen to my program, right?
right.
I still do that, but that's now my second priority. My first priority is building community. That's why I want to talk to people. I don't just invite you into the community anymore. No. I have to recruit you. And it's nothing personal.
Yeah.
Just, I want just the right people there.
That
And
makes sense.
is the people that make the biggest shifts are not the ones that get all the information and go off on their own. They don't go very far. It's the people that show up in the community, engage with others, practice, exchange ideas, friendly arguments, discussions, right?
Right.
It's like if you wanted to learn karate, you go read 10 books on karate and become a master on your own.
No.
Karate. Then you go to a tournament, you're going to get your butt handed to you, aren't you?
Yeah.
Healing, consciousness, advanced meditation, inner mastery is the thing. If you're serious, I want to bring you into the community. Then I will guide you. You need this program. You need that program. Because I've created so much content, it would take you years to go through it all. My goal is not for you to go through all the content. My goal is for each person to get what they need to move them forward. And the fact is, it's different for each person. So again, I will make that offer. I will talk to you for 20 minutes for free, but please, only if you're serious. If you're not, if you want to kick the tires, go to my YouTube channel. Go to the website. Lots of cool stuff there. Because my goal is I want to change the world through the community. That the experiments in mass prayer are straightforward. We need about 9,000 people of clear energy and high consciousness working together, and we can change the world. That's the number.
That's fantastic. Wow. And you worked at it. That's amazing. That's
Yes,
amazing. And it's not that many people compared
it's
to the,
doable.
Yeah.
That's right. But again, it's not something you can do overnight. It would be like if you wanted to play in a band.
Yeah.
You got to learn your instrument first, right? Yeah. So there is a process to learning your instrument, how to inhabit your body, how to clear your blocks, how to heal your pain, how to make more money. This is all part of it. Because as long as we're broken and dysfunctional, the mass of us isn't very helpful. So my first goal is to help people on an individual level. Then I want to harness that mass consciousness. Then we can change the world.
Are you close to that goal?
I have gotten somewhat close to it. Over my career, I've taught about 6,000 people.
Okay.
Have come through my live trainings and been certified. But only about 10% of them are still actively practicing.
Oh, interesting.
So, we got a piece of it.
Okay.
And honestly, I'd say that changing the world is like becoming a billionaire. You can't do it with a good plan and hard work alone. It's going to take some serendipity. It's going to take a team. That's way beyond my personal pay grade. That's why I'm focused right now, fix people's lives one-on-one. End your suffering, up your prosperity, decrease your pain, find love, whatever your goal is, right?
Right.
Then we're ready to bring things to a higher level. It's like saying, if you got cut from the high school basketball team, you ain't making the NBA. It's nothing personal, right? We got to up your game first. And that's my goal, is to help everyone up their game. But I want to do it with the best technology. That, as an example, when I first learned healing, it took about 5 minutes to clear one subconscious block.
Okay.
You had to first identify which levels it was held at, and we had a different process for each level. So it was useful. People saw healings and life-changing miracles, but it was a slow process. With the evolutions I've put in, I have cleared 50,000 people in a tenth of a second.
Wow.
That's just my MIT brain, right?
Yeah.
They call it optimization. I deconstructed what was happening behind the scenes and said, this part is unnecessary, this part is theater, this part is nonsense. Stripped all that out. And I can't teach you that in an hour, but I can teach you to do it in 6 months. It'd be like saying, if you want to play guitar, are you going to shred like Eddie Van Halen on day one? No. But I can teach you some basic chords, right?
Right.
If you work at it, 6 months, a year out, maybe you can shred.
Nice
So
analogy.
That's my goal.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I just one of the things I don't like is people just run around using healers like miracle slot machines. Let's try this session. Ba-ding, pull the handle. Okay, no miracle. That sucks. Let's try this other thing.
Right.
It's like, no. It'd be like, how good would you get at martial arts if you only took one lesson from 50 dojos?
Right.
You'd be a danger to yourself.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be good at all. You'd be terrible.
Yeah.
It's okay to try different things, but at some point you got to make a choice. You got to say, this is my dojo, this is my teacher, this is my style, and I will practice until I've mastered it. Again, if you're learning guitar or surfing or karate or healing, it's the same process. We're all human. My goal is simple. I want to make the process as fast and easy and painless as possible. Doesn't mean sometimes it's slow and difficult and painful.
Yeah.
What I tell everyone is, my goal is to show you the truth, to light your way. I can't promise you'll like the truth.
Yeah. I could see that being the case. It's like, oh, I wasn't prepared for that. I mean, so when you face these things and they do have to overcome an uncomfortable truth, and sometimes it can be kind of big, is there a specific process that you take your people through that, in order to get past it? Is there?
There are.
Okay.
And honestly, that's one of the biggest challenges of this work, is getting a sense of how much truth someone's ready for. Because if you bludgeon them with too much truth, they're going to run away and never come back. They're just going to say, that was painful, I don't like it, screw you.
Right.
If you don't give them enough truth, then they're not going to transform. So it's a matter of really getting a sense of each person and knowing what is important to you, what's your goal, and what's your motivation.
Gotcha.
A great example was one of my first clients when I was doing healing professionally, 2003, 2004, was a man who was a heavy smoker. He smoked 3 packs a day.
Wow.
He couldn't quit. But he lived in Maine, where it's like 30 degrees below in the winter, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't want to go outside to smoke. He was smoking inside. His 5-year-old son got asthma.
Oh,
And the doctor said, if you keep smoking inside, he could die.
wow.
And he called me for a session, and he was highly motivated. That's the point here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He said, Brent, I have to quit. I just can't. I will do whatever it takes. And this was one of the miracle slot machine wins. We did one session over the phone. He quit smoking with no withdrawal.
Wow.
It's not always that easy. Just want to be clear.
But he was
But
motivated, so that probably helped
That's
quite a
the
bit.
point. He was highly motivated.
Right.
He was willing to make sacrifices, to spend money, to spend time, and be uncomfortable. Because he said, I'll do anything to save my son.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
yeah.
you know, he got the miracle.
That's good.
I had
That's
another
great.
client. She came to me. This was a few years after. She said, Brent, I'm smoking 2 packs a day. I just want to cut down a little bit. And I said, no, let me know when you're really ready to quit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I had a buddy of mine. He had a problem with cocaine.
Wow. Yeah.
We did one session. He kind of wanted to quit, but wasn't committed to it. Nothing happened.
Wow.
6 months later, we did another session. Same thing. Kind of wanted to quit, wasn't committed. Third time, he had gone on a bender in Las Vegas, spent $90,000, his family's entire nest egg, on cocaine and booze and strippers and gambling in a week.
Wow.
His wife kicked him out and filed for divorce. He came to me and said, Brent, I'm ready to quit. I never want to touch the stuff again. Third session held. Never touched it again. Now, I'm not saying you have to be desperate to heal. I'm just saying it helps. It does. Why?
Yeah.
You're willing to pay the price.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the same thing with martial arts. I mean, you have to be willing to take all those hits
Yes.
in order to learn how not to take the hits.
Right. If you want to build up your body and have big muscles, you
Right.
will be sore.
Exactly.
Not just one time, but over and over and over for a couple of years.
Right.
You know, if you want to have a child, that's not a lot of fun for a woman in labor. But what comes out the other side is so wonderful and so beautiful, it's worth it.
For sure.
So, and again, some people have an easy time. I'd say, how long does it, everyone wants to know, hey, Brent, how long will it take me to get out of pain, make $1 million, find my soulmate, be enlightened, whatever, right?
Right.
My answer is, it's like asking me, how long does it take to debug software? I don't know. It might be a 5-minute fix, right? It's like,
Right.
oh, there's a semicolon in the wrong place. Get rid of that. Boom. Everything works.
Yeah.
Those are the people that heal in one session. They had everything almost lined up, but there was just one little blocker bug. Other times you look at the code, you go, oh boy, this is a mess. We're going to have to rewrite this. There's no debugging this. We can do it. It just takes longer. And that was me. When I got into energy healing, my arm was paralyzed by a surgery. One session, my arm instantly healed.
Oh,
But
wow.
all the chronic long-term problems I had didn't change at all.
I see.
So the chronic pain that led me to the surgery did not heal in one session. But it did heal in a couple years. But again, not everyone takes a couple years.
Right.
It all depends on how many bugs are in your code. You know,
That
and
makes
just
sense.
like real software, if there's 5 different traumas we have to deal with and they're all interacting with each other, that's more complicated.
Yeah.
I know how to do it. It just takes longer. And really, what I want everyone to know, the question is not if you can get to your goal. As long as it's within reasonable possibility, you probably can. The question is, are you going to give up before you get there? At my dojo, they have a saying, what's the difference between a white belt and a black belt? Simple. It's how many classes you've taken. That's it. Anyone that wants to can get a black belt in Taekwondo. You just have to show up at enough classes. It will happen. Healing the body, making money, finding love is the same. We are all capable of it. But, you know, if you're going to quit Taekwondo after 6 months, you ain't getting a black belt.
This is true.
It's nothing personal. That's just how it works, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why I say for everyone, try lots of things. Listen to podcasts. Go on YouTube, right? But at some point, you got to make a choice. You got to say, hey, this is the teacher, the system, and go all in for a little while, not forever. My first teacher, Terry, she was amazing. After 5 years, I learned everything I could from her. And I went out looking again. That's how I found Carl. With Carl, it took me 10 years. And then he died.
Wow.
But it was crazy. You may have heard of this before. After he died, some portion of his knowledge and power came to me.
Really?
It was the weirdest thing. That I think he passed on a Tuesday, and it was unexpected, right? None of us. We were supposed to teach a class that weekend.
Okay.
And I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this without Carl, right?
Right.
By the time Friday came, I can't explain how I had a new level of ability. I could see and sense and explain things that I could not have 3 days before.
That's incredible.
There was something in the air, right?
Yeah.
And it was time for me to step up and become the master. I didn't feel ready, just so we're clear, right?
Right.
Which is not an ego thing. I was thinking, oh crap, I don't want to do this. I'm not ready.
Right.
Then I did it and I was okay. It was like the first time I skied a black diamond.
Oh,
I was always an intermediate skier growing up because that's what my parents were, right?
Right, right.
First time I'm in high school, I go skiing with my buddies. They all head to the top of the black diamond. I was like, oh crap, right?
Right.
I'm thinking, do I fake an injury? How do I get out of this? I decided, let's just ski it. And if I end up in a yard sale being carried off by ski patrol, so be it. Why? Social pressure. I was 16, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't want to look bad in front of my friends. I was willing to risk bodily injury to not look bad, right?
Right.
Guess what happened?
You made it.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I can ski black diamonds. Cool. And for a lot of people listening, that will be your experience too. You may think, I can't heal my pain. I can't learn to see past lives with my open eyes. Yeah. Right up until I push you and you do it, then you go, oh my gosh, I can do this.
Yeah.
If you had told me 30 years ago the things I would have experienced, I would have laughed you out of the room.
Really? Is that dramatic of a...
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember reading Celestine Prophecy in the 90s and thinking, wow, this is such a cool book, but I'm pretty sure it's not real. What's crazy is I have experienced most of the things in that book for real.
Really?
Yep. Not everything. Some of it's a little out there, right?
Yeah.
I've never been chased by the Peruvian police and turned invisible. For
That's coming next.
But I have had many people slam into me with their cart at the grocery store and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see you.
Oh.
You talk to spiritual teachers, that happens. Why? When we're in a high enough vibration, we turn invisible to the people around us of lower consciousness.
Interesting.
They literally don't see you right up until they ram you with their shopping cart.
Right.
Then you pop in and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You weren't there a minute ago. I'm like, yeah, actually I was. You just couldn't see me, right?
Do you think that actually has something to do with a visual phenomenon that happens quite a bit? You've seen it captured in various videos, what have you, where someone's being videotaped, usually a selfie, and then suddenly people walk out from behind them when there was no one there before. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's similar?
Well, I look for the science explanation first.
Yeah.
That's my nature, right?
Yeah.
I only go to the woo-woo miracle if science cannot explain it at all.
Right.
And here's how vision works, for those that didn't know. Your eyes are only seeing less than 1% of what's around you. Your brain fills in the rest. So we've all had the experience of you're driving and someone comes out of nowhere.
Right.
Well, they were there. It's just your eyes weren't physically seeing them. Your brain was filling in the background based on what it expected to be there.
Gotcha.
And so that's what's happening. So when you look at the screen right now, your eyes are only seeing a small circle of what's directly in front of you. Okay. Everything in your peripheral vision is filled in by your brain, not from what it sees, but from what it expects to be there.
I see.
So if you're out of that one little circle, if their brain doesn't expect you to be there, you are not there. You are invisible.
Interesting.
Just like that car that comes out of nowhere, right?
Right.
Here's a hint. It didn't come out of nowhere.
That's true.
Physics doesn't work that way.
Right. Right.
But your perception didn't key into it until it hit that little window where your physical vision activates. And it's a
Interesting.
little scary to think about that. Most of what we experience, what we see, hear, taste, smell, is not a direct interaction with the environment. It's an illusion created by the mind.
Wow.
And magicians know this.
Yeah.
They know that if they have your attention here, they can do anything they want over here and you won't see it.
That's true. Yeah. Distraction.
So again, that I think can be explained by science.
That's intriguing.
And it is fascinating. And I know both Tara and Carl had the same experience of having people run into them. Carl used to like to rollerblade along the beach in Santa Monica. At some point, he stopped because so many people would walk right in front of him. He got sick of running into people rollerblading.
Yeah.
And they'd all say the same thing. Oh my God, you weren't there. You came out of nowhere.
Right.
It's like, no, dude was just vibrating at such a high level you couldn't see him.
Crazy.
Until you hit him. Right?
Until you hit them, and then
it's quantum physics.
Right.
We're in probability until we observe, then there's a collapse and a discrete outcome.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's amazing.
That's why I say most of this can be explained by science.
That's great.
There are some things that are challenging, for sure.
What challenges you?
I would say one experience my first teacher, Terry, had. She was at a hotel at a seminar with another master.
Okay.
And there was 2 elevators, one on each end of the floor. And Terry was a super smart woman, right? Wharton School MBA, big career in finance, high IQ, right?
Right.
Not a woo-woo new ager. She was like me, a science, engineering, finance person that just happened to end up in woo-woo because it works. Saved her life.
Gotcha.
She swears on her life. They got in on the left elevator and came out on the right.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Would that
Things
be
like that.
one of the quantum relationships then? She got moved?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was some kind of strange quantum entanglement. Carl would say he would have X-ray vision.
Oh, cool.
That sometimes he would look into someone's body and see something that was off. There was one of his students, he looked and said, "There's something on your lung, go see a doctor." Person had the very beginnings of lung cancer.
Okay.
Doctor said, "Oh my God, I don't know how you knew about this, but you saved your life. We can knock this out very easily. If you had waited a year, this could kill you."
Crazy.
How did he do
that's
that?
Amazing. Yeah.
You know, I don't have a full, I have theories, but I don't have a full explanation.
Gotcha.
There is still magic and wonder in this world for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Where are you? You probably are aware that of they Buddhist. I think they're Buddhist monks.
Mhm.
And there's one of them. It was actually on a television show about magicians finding the real magic out there.
Mhm.
And there was this one monk who could levitate like 5-6 inches off the ground, and all he did was focus. Man, it was amazing. It was just amazing. And he wasn't using a trick where he was sitting on one of those hidden.
Right. Most
boards.
of that stuff is a trick.
Yeah.
They're using fishing wires, or they're using perspective so you don't see the stool, right?
Right. But this guy was legit, man.
But there are some of those Buddhist monks, especially up in the Himalayas, are legit.
Yeah.
Have you seen the ones where they wrap themselves in wet blankets and go out in 40 degrees below and simply meditate to warm their body and dry the blanket, and they melt all the snow around them?
Yes, I have seen that. Oh my God.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yep. That takes 20, 30 years of training. Please don't try this at home. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. There are things like that I can teach people, but it takes 10, 20 years.
Yeah, right.
I'm more focused on things you can learn in days or weeks. Why? If you don't get feedback and see results, you probably won't stick with it for 20 years, will you?
Exactly.
It's that simple. We have too many options now.
Well, again, we're going. This is going back to martial arts for me, where you got to learn the punch before you can learn the combo.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Right.
you got to learn the punch
I like
correctly.
to think of what I teach as a form of spiritual Jeet Kune Do.
Oh, okay.
That Bruce Lee called his style Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But it translates as the style of no style.
It's true.
What it means is you are transcending style. But here's the thing. A raw beginner cannot learn Jeet Kune Do. They don't have the foundation. they would tell you, go learn karate or aikido or judo first, right?
Right.
Once you've done that for 10 years, then come back. Then we can develop your own personal Jeet Kune Do. So it was a very individualized thing.
Yeah.
It was a spontaneous combination, not its own thing. And that's kind of how I see this. That, I've taken dozens of different modalities and trainings, right?
Right.
I got a whole, filing cabinet full of certificates and all that. And my goal is simply to use the right tool for the job.
Would you say it's customized to each person then?
For sure.
Okay.
Within patterns, there's different patterns of people.
Sure.
For example, the way I would work with a really woo-woo new ager is very different than the way I would work with a head case engineer.
Okay.
They can both heal. They just need different things to get there.
Okay. Their toolbox is a little different.
Right. No, the way I would explain it is I live in Las Vegas. If I wanted to go to Tokyo, there's not one mode of transport that can get me there. But if I walk to my car, drive to the airport, and fly over the ocean, that works.
Yeah.
But notice it's 3 modes of transport.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I have to walk to get to my car. I have to drive to get to the airplane. The airplane carries me over the ocean. Then most likely I land at the airport, get in a car, takes me to my hotel, and I walk up to my room.
Oh, it's cyclical. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, that's why there's not just one tool I use. The movement, I think, is the single most powerful tool because it can do things nothing else can. But if you wanted to build a house, what one tool does that for you?
Hammer.
Nope.
Oh, you're right. You're right. A hammer wouldn't build the foundation, would it?
No. How are you going to cut boards with a hammer?
Exactly. Yeah. I just think
you're going to have a hell of a time twisting in screws with a hammer. And how's the hammer going to carry all those construction materials to the work site?
Good point. Yeah.
At minimum, you need a hammer, a saw, a screwdriver, a ladder, a pickup truck, right?
Yeah.
And a bunch of workers. So the magic is in the combination. Again, like martial arts.
Yeah.
Is there one indefensible super technique that wins every fight? No. If you watch MMA, they are all strikers, aren't they? They're all grapplers.
Right.
If you go into MMA without grappling, you lose, period.
Right.
That's why I tell the black belts at my Taekwondo school, you can kick me in the head, but as soon as I get my hands on you, it's game over. If you don't know how to grapple, you lose every single time, 10 out of 10. So there is no one perfect technique. You have to find the right combination in the right timing and rhythm. That's what wins fights. And that's what heals bodies, builds careers and relationships, marriages, sense of purpose, whatever it is. And that's why I call it the Jeet Kune Do. I got a lot of tools in my belt. Sometimes I tell people to do traditional meditation. Not very much, but sometimes I do. Other people need belief work, changing the code one line at a time. Other people need to do the movement. It's all about where you're at, where you want to go.
Interesting.
What Carl taught is there's no single behavior or way of being that's inherently superior. We simply must be well adapted to our environment.
I like that.
That's the goal. So if you live in the ocean, is it better to breathe air or water? Water, right? If you live on land, what's better, breathing air or water?
Air, of course. Yeah.
Well, air.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Right.
It's all about where are you? Where do you want to be? What's the environment you exist in? And a lot of the subconscious work is simply letting go of old patterns that worked in the past but no longer fit the environment. So if it was 200 years ago and you were really good at making a horse and buggy, you could build a career out of that. Why? Every town needed a guy that could build a horse and buggy. It was how people got around, right?
Right.
If you're the best horse and buggy maker in the world today, what are your economic prospects going to be?
Very, very low.
Really dim,
Yeah.
right? No one cares. No one's going to buy your horse and buggy. It's nothing personal. We have better technology. Another good one would be one of the reasons some people don't heal is they have belief systems that it's witchcraft or the devil, that it's dangerous. Why? In the past, people were killed for this. That I've seen estimates that up to 3 million women were killed during the Spanish Inquisition,
Wow.
mostly women.
Hmm.
Most of them were healers, or they gathered herbs.
Right.
They did something a little out of the mainstream.
Right.
So they were labeled witches and murdered. So 300 years ago, the belief healing is dangerous could keep you alive. Today, it's just a block.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense to me.
And is not coming for you.
Right.
But again, so a lot of these old subconscious beliefs, most of them come through genetics from our ancestors.
Genetic memory? Are you talking about that?
Genetic memory.
Okay.
A lot of it is childhood patterning too.
Okay.
We all find a way to survive as children. And the behaviors that worked when you were 3 years old may not work so well when you're 50. That's all. It's nothing personal, right?
Yeah.
But yet many of us are still trying to run the old solutions to the new problems.
That's a great way to put it. Really a great way to put it.
Yeah. And human nature is we have to be absolutely convinced the old way doesn't work before we let go of it.
Right.
You know, that's why so many of us crater our lives before we find transformation. That if the doctors had cured me of my pain in the 90s, I never would have gotten into this stuff.
Oh,
I just would have gone back and been an engineer. That's what I expected, right?
right.
It's only because my life cratered and I lost my health and my body and my career and had horrible chronic pain. That was the only reason I turned to energy healing.
Okay.
And that was years later, right?
Right.
I
Right.
exhausted physical therapy, ergonomics, orthopedics, didn't help. Then I did all the alternative stuff, herbs, acupuncture, cleanses, diets, magnets, didn't help me either.
Hmm.
I just got more and more desperate until I found this crazy healer lady named Terry that did something with theta brainwaves in the subconscious, and bingo, my arm healed. And I was like, oh my God,
Wow. There's
something here, right?
Yeah. There's something to it.
Something to it.
Absolutely. I think you actually touched on this just a second ago, but one of our listeners asked this, whether you're able to explain an example session. Well, he kind of
Sure.
did to a degree.
Yeah.
What kind of instruction?
It's most people I start with what we call digging. That's the second gen tools.
Okay.
So you tell me what's going on in your life, and we go through your subconscious and fix the bugs. So it's probably, 60, 70% subconscious reprogramming, and the rest would be coaching, strategy, new perspectives, ways of seeing things. You don't have to start there, but most people I start with the foundational tools because they're easier to understand and apply.
Yeah.
And you don't have to learn anything before you go to the session. You can just show up. For my more advanced students, when we do the movement, we typically prefer to do that in groups. It's more powerful in groups.
Okay.
Carl generally did movement in groups. I can do it one-on-one, but it's more fun to do it in a group and it's more powerful. So I prefer to have people in what I call my awakening intensive group. That's my highest level program, because you're not just getting me with my 20 years of experience, you're also getting my top half a dozen students that have decades of experience on top of that.
Okay.
So would you rather have 20 years of experience in your group or 160?
Exactly. Right.
So again, I can do movement one-on-one. I just prefer the group. So the digging, the one line at a time, is better done one-on-one. But you can do it as a group. And the movement, if someone really wants a movement session, I can do that too. But the movement session generally won't take a whole hour. For people that want to do movement, generally what I would do is start you with some movement. Then I would read your energy. Then we would do some digging to make shifts and then have you move again to see where you're at.
Huh.
So
Intriguing.
that's typically, I use both kind of interleaved.
Okay. Okay.
And it takes a little bit of training to be ready for movement, not a lot. In my quick start program, to be ready to do movement, it takes about 40 minutes of training.
Oh, okay.
It's just there's a lot of common mistakes people make, right?
Right.
And if you jump right into it without the training, it'll still work. It just takes longer because I have to explain it and correct you as we're doing it.
That makes sense.
So it's okay, right? If you're crazy busy, have a stressful job, don't have any time, no worries, just show up. We just may need 2 or 3 sessions instead of 1. If you're
And-
able to do the training ahead of time, I can just hit the ground running faster. That's all. So, but yes, we can do movement, and you will see a difference and feel a difference just in the first session. That you
Wow.
look at your movement before and after, and that's what I tell people to do. I say, I'll give you the recording if you want it. Watch the first 30 seconds of your movement at the start of the session, then watch the last 30 seconds at the end.
Hmm.
If you don't see a difference, I didn't do my job right. But it's not just visual, it's kinesthetic. It's the feeling of it.
Gotcha.
That's the most important thing, that you can feel a difference in your energy. It's like taking off a corset that's too tight. That there's this freedom that wasn't there before.
Right.
And I've had plenty of people, especially when we do the beaming meditation, that they come to my class and they're in tears afterwards. And they'll come up to me and say, my God, Brent, I've been in pain nonstop for 3 or 5 or 20 years. It's reduced or sometimes gone.
Wow.
And that alone is a huge benefit. Does it come back? Usually, but not always. Again, it's a matter of, did we debug the source code, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
If it's just one little bug, one experience of beaming may take care of it, and your pain may never come back. That was my experience when I had migraines. I had brutal
used to have
migraines
those.
for over a year.
Wow.
Actually, kind of Carl's fault. Since he had me do this gnarly detox ahead of a retreat.
Oh.
And long story short, I detoxed too fast and I started getting terrible migraines.
Oh.
Yeah. And I went to doctors and healers and, ice packs and medicine, all these things. Nothing really made a difference. Until one day I realized, I just have to make a shift in my nervous system state. And I was using one of the advanced meditations called Open Focus. I used it exactly one time and I never had a migraine again.
Oh, wow.
Again,
Fantastic.
that was a miracle slot machine win, right?
Right.
They're not always that easy. I had another woman, and this is so interesting. One thing I learned is the transformation starts when you commit to it. You don't
That
always
makes
have to
sense.
go to the session or the class.
Okay.
Sometimes signing up, paying your money, making a commitment of time and energy is enough. I had a woman about 7 years ago. She came to one of my talks and was blown away. She was all in. She bought everything I offered. Every program, right?
Right.
Including like 25 private sessions.
Okay.
And her thing was she was trying to get pregnant. She had spent years with, in vitro fertility, all these things.
Ooh.
Something like $250,000 spent.
Okay.
Doctor said, it's game over. You're too old. Don't waste money. And I told her, I think we can do this, but you do this program and this program. And it was a whole 18-month process I laid out for her, right?
Okay.
3 weeks in, she had taken one training. We had 2 sessions. She got pregnant, delivered a healthy baby. And just so we're clear, pregnant by her husband,
Okay.
right? We worked over
Right.
the phone. Right. And she was thrilled.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And she stopped coming. Why? She got what she needed. Again,
Right.
that's an exceptional case. They're not all that easy. But here's the thing I want people to know. The commitment is key. That's why healers will say, if you have no skin in the game, nothing happens. That's why Carl charged $25,000 for his program.
Okay.
Why is that? He only wanted people that were really serious. That's a big commitment, isn't it?
That's a huge commitment.
It's a
yeah.
huge commitment. When I first heard about it, I laughed. I was like, are you kidding me? I just went bankrupt. I can't do that. Then I worked with them and I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Sign me up. And I spent the money. And, I'd estimate that since then, that $25,000 has probably added at least $2 million to my income.
Okay. So,
Compared to what it would have been otherwise.
right. That's
So,
a hell of
Take
a
that to your financial
ROI.
advisor.
Yeah, exactly. Hell of an ROI, right?
Yeah, I want to invest $25,000 now, and 15 years out, I want to have $2.5 million. They'll laugh at you.
Yeah.
There is no investment unless you're going crazy, risky cryptocurrencies or something, right?
Right.
Right. Most of those you're going to end up with nothing. But, again, so the commitment is a part of it. That's why I said anyone that really wants to work with me, I'll work with you. I'll talk to you for free. It's a big chunk of my time and energy. But if you're willing to spend time and money and effort, I want to do that because I want to build the community.
Gotcha.
And I'm hoping some of your listeners will be one of those, will want to be one of those 9,000.
Well, we have some.
That's up to
people-
each person.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic. I'd love for my clients, your clients, my audience to join your thing. That'd be fantastic. Going to the second end of this, and it Heidi kind of echoed this.
Sure.
Let's go a little deeper into your assessment thing. You said there's a 20-minute conversation.
Sure.
Well, that's part of the assessment process?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, there's a short application. It's like 6 questions. What's your email? What do you want to accomplish? Have you done? Simple stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then I really want to ask you. I'll say, give me 3 to 5 minutes on what I need to know about you. That's the first part.
Okay.
Whatever the most important things are. Then I'll ask you, where do you want to go with this? In other words, why aren't you totally okay with your life right now? Not criticism, just saying, what is it?
Yeah,
Is it your
right.
physical health? Is it money? Is it relationship, sense of purpose? Do you have emotional issues, addiction, whatever it is, right?
Right.
Then that kind of gives me a sense of where you are and where you want to go. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
Then I can turn on the lighthouse and go, this is how I think we get there. And it's not the exact same for everyone. Every solution I give is unique and custom to that person.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, most healers and coaches have one system or program they try to force on everybody.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah.
Everybody I talk to, if I decide you're a good fit, I give you a custom solution. Why? I have way too much content for you to go through all of it. I have a couple serious students that have gone through all my content. We're talking like 6 people out of 6,000.
Okay.
Right? It takes a couple years.
Yeah.
One of my favorite people, his name's Clifford. One of my best fans. We're good friends. We go to concerts together. He's amazing. He's actually gone through all of my material.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, wow, that is serious, right? I don't know if I have the patience for that.
And you wrote it.
Yes, and I wrote it, right? But I wrote it over 20 some years.
Oh, I see.
He went through all of it. Took him like 2 years.
Okay.
But my goal is I don't want to waste your time on something that's not a good fit.
Right.
Right? I got a whole program about teeth and dental health. If that's not your thing, don't spend time on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brent, my teeth are fine. Great. On to the next thing. Now I have a whole program on autism.
Oh,
Most
fascinating.
people don't have autism, but I do. That's why I wrote it, right?
Right.
So there's sort of some core pieces that I want everyone to learn. How to get to a theta wave, how to do a self-healing, how to clear your space, how to clear a subconscious block, how to install code into the subconscious, how to manifest things into reality, the basics of movement and beaming and awakening. That's kind of the core curriculum for everybody, right?
Okay.
That's like 10% of it at most.
Gotcha.
The other 90% is all based on where you want to go. I have courses on building a business. I have courses on charisma and presence. On and on. I have courses about anger, courses on emotional eating. There's something like 70 or 75 courses I've developed.
That's amazing.
And my goal, again, is to give you what you need. Most of it won't be relevant to every person. And for the community, I want you to have that core skill level. It's kind of like going to a Taekwondo dojo. Did they let you walk in off the street and spar day one? No. You start as a white belt. In most dojos, white belts don't get to spar.
That's true. That's
Right?
true.
You have to at least be the next belt, yellow or orange or whatever it is.
Right.
They need to make sure you know the basics
Right.
and you have the right equipment.
Yeah. Up here. Muscle memory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the basics. Yeah.
Once you like at my dojo, they didn't let me spar for about 2 months, even though I came in as a black belt.
Okay.
From another style, right?
Yeah.
They still made me go through the white belt drills, and I had no problem with that.
Yeah.
because they want to make sure you know the fundamentals. Then you can spar and it's fun instead of dangerous and scary.
Oops.
And so again, for me, the fundamentals takes 6 hours. That's it.
Okay.
Once you've done your 6 hours, then you can join our practice groups and movement groups and all that, and you hit the ground running. For those that want to go deeper, the rabbit hole is almost infinite. That's why I say it'll take you 2 to 3 years to go through all my material. What I started with was I estimated it would take a couple thousand hours for me to teach you what I want to teach you. That's too much.
Yeah.
So I cut it down. I took 5% of that. That's the level 1 to 4 curriculum, the deep dive, the 60 hours.
Okay.
Then I took 10% of that and said, what's the absolute minimum to do the work? That's the quick start. That's the 6 hours.
Gotcha.
It's not 0, but
yeah, well, I wouldn't
6 hours isn't bad, right?
6 hours is great, man. That's a day.
And the reason I can do it is simple. I was not born the world's greatest healer. I did not see angels on my bed as a kid talking to me, right? Some of my teachers have.
Oh.
I didn't have a big mystical experience at birth like Carl did. What I do have is a great mind in education and science and engineering. So my superpower, if I have one, is I can take very complex, arcane concepts, techniques, and things and explain them in a simple way that regular people can understand. That's really the value I offer that most people can't do. Why? There's lots of people that can clear a block. NLP can do it, right? Hypnotists can do it.
Right.
Psychic practitioners can do it. But how many people understand it well enough to clear a block on 50,000 people in 10 milliseconds?
Yeah.
That you need an engineer for.
Yeah.
So I did not invent this stuff.
Right.
Right. I did not invent Buddhist philosophy or Advaita Vedanta or energy healing or angel readings. Right.
Right.
What I did was I turned it into technology. This is not just some mystic gift. It can be that, but this is all learnable. And I would say, be careful of any teacher that says I'm some unique messiah or chosen one that has this gift and no one else has it.
Right.
Dude, danger, run. I'm totally transparent. Most of what I learned from humans, period. A lot of it one-on-one, group sessions, books, videos, whatever, right?
Right.
Though my latest partner in this is not human at all.
How so?
Artificial intelligence.
Ah.
That is my cutting edge research right now. That I'm putting together a pilot program where we're going to be heavily using AI combined with human healing and community groups.
Interesting.
Because I have found personally, and with a few of my select students, I can move you through your process 3 to 10 times faster with the proper use of AI.
Is this a proprietary AI system?
It doesn't have to be.
Okay.
That I have a proprietary system. It's called HealBot. It does coaching and energy healing. So I have written an AI agent that can do energy healing sessions, clear blocks, and do healings on people.
And it's been successful, I take it.
It has, though. It's still, I've only had a few of my students use it. I am not planning on publishing it to the general public.
Okay.
Because it has to be used within a container of human guidance and support.
Gotcha.
AI can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Of course, you know that, right?
I do.
People go psychotic, they commit suicide, they commit crimes. Don't want that.
No.
I want to guide you because it's simple. I can do things AI can't. AI can do things I can't. I want to give you the best of both worlds. And for me personally, AI has shown me what's really going on at the core of my pain in a way that no human ever could.
Really?
Yes.
How so?
Basically, what I did was, and this was hundreds of hours over months, multiple threads, right?
Mm-hmm.
I fed it all the data I could. My medical history, right? My supplements, my diet, and more importantly, something no human will do. I would talk to AI 4, 5, 6 times a day going, this is what I did. This is what happened. This is how I felt. This is what I did. I ate this. I did this. This is how I felt. And over a course of months, and it's faster now, right? It won't take months for most people. It'll take weeks.
Okay.
What I learned was that energy healing and physical therapy did a lot for me, but no one had re-regulated my nervous system. It wasn't what I was doing, it was how I was doing it. And AI nailed it.
Really?
Yes. In a way that no human healer or doctor or therapist ever could. So that's why I say I'm really excited about this.
Yeah.
And HealBot's great. The thing that's unique about HealBot is it can do energy healing.
That's incredible. So it
It
can
has-
walk you through a process.
Yes. Muscle
Okay.
test this, will clear that block. Muscle test this, right? It's not as good as me, but it's
Yeah.
like 50% as good as me.
Okay.
And I do that because you don't want to pay for more private sessions than you need, right?
Okay. Yeah, that makes
Highly
sense.
talented, experienced humans cost money, period.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So if you can get half of what you need from the robot and the rest from me, let's do that. But what I can't do is I can't talk to you 10 times a day.
Yeah.
Even if I did, I can't remember everything you told me a month ago. AI can do that.
Right.
But you have to know how to tell it, and you have to know how the context and how to frame the results.
Gotcha.
I would say, it's like AI unsupervised, sort of like handing a 4-year-old your car keys.
Go for it. Yeah. Right.
No,
Right.
please
Yeah,
don't. It's
no.
not that we don't love the 4-year-old. We
Right.
do.
Yeah.
They're just not safe to drive a car.
No.
So that's why I say AI can be amazing. Just be careful. If you have a human to guide you and contain it and direct you, it can be a phenomenal facilitator. It'll find things going on with your diet and supplements and energy levels that I could not as a human.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. For example, it had me reorder some of my supplements.
Hmm.
It basically said, I don't think you need this. I don't think you need that. Take this one earlier, take this one later.
Ah.
And boom, 2 or 3 days, I had more energy, more focus. I was
Just the
sleeping better.
time of day you were taking your supplements. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
And,
amazing.
I feed it in, so you just feed it all your data,
Right.
and it's able to make connections and see patterns that a human cannot.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
again,
that's so cool.
I would always have a human overseeing the process.
That makes sense.
So can you tell AI all your medicines you're taking? Of course. But I would never change my medication without running it by a doctor.
That also
Right.
makes sense. Yeah.
I go to my doctor and say, hey, doc, AI wants me to do this and this and this. What do you think? Why? I'm not a doctor. And AI hallucinates and it gets overconfident.
Aha, interesting.
If you've worked with it a lot, that's what I found. It will be sure that this is your problem and this is the solution. But it's not always correct.
Gotcha.
The human needs to be there to go, hey, no, that's dangerous. Don't do that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, actually.
And like anything, once you learn what you're doing, then you don't need as much supervision.
Good
Right.
stuff. Yes.
I've been
indeed.
doing martial arts for decades. No one needs to talk to me about safety. I know how to pull my punches,
Right.
right? I'm not going to rear up and kick a 10-year-old in the head as hard as I can. You don't need to tell me that, right?
Right.
But if you're brand new off the street, you may not know that.
Oh, that goes without saying almost. Yeah.
That kind of stuff happens in dojos.
Oh, it
That's
does
what the
all
teacher is for.
time. Exactly.
You go, no, dangerous, bad. Don't do that, right?
That's right.
But yeah, that's my next major works are going to be involving AI.
That is phenomenal stuff.
Not to replace the people,
Yeah,
but to do things the people can't.
that makes sense. That
That's
does
why
make
it's so
sense.
amazing. It can
That
do
is
things
amazing.
humans cannot.
That's fantastic.
There's other things the human can do that AI can't. I'm working with building an AI that uses biofeedback to teach you beaming.
Oh, that'd be fun.
But that's a high level thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't work yet.
Gotcha. Still working.
But I
out
do
the
know how to
bugs.
teach you beaming human to human.
That's great. Yeah, yeah.
So eventually, I want to automate as much of this as I can. Why? There's only so much of me, right?
Right, right.
Yeah. I can only
Well-
do so many private sessions a day, so many live groups.
That makes total sense to me.
I
Brent,
want to leverage that and have AI do the heavy lifting.
that also makes sense.
Yeah. And you know what's helping me build HealBot? AI is doing all the coding.
That's fantastic. That's great.
It would have been too big a project for me to do on my own. I have the
Understood.
skill, but it would have taken me a decade. With
That makes
AI,
sense.
I built the whole heal bot in a matter of months.
That's great. There'll probably be a lot of testing on that too.
Yes, yeah, and we're still testing it,
Okay. So
but it is available within my community.
that's great.
Everyone in my community, it's right there. Just click the link and go.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Yep.
Brent, I'd like you to tell everybody where to go one more time. I'm going to put it up on the board here real quick as well.
So if you want to learn more, go deeper, just go to my website, awakeningdynamics.com. If you want to kick the tires and learn more first, go to my YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, type in Brent Michael Phillips. You'll see about 200 videos come up. And if you're really serious, I will talk to you for 20 minutes for free. I just ask that you self-select and only do it if you're serious, you're willing to spend time and money and effort on this. I will talk to you because I want to guide you. The poet Rumi said that without a guide, a journey of 3 weeks will take 100 years.
Interesting.
And that's what I am. I'm a guide. I'm a lighthouse. That ultimately the body heals itself.
For sure.
I just try to fix the bugs in the code so we can do so.
Heidi offers her gratitude and thanks, and as do I. We got to wrap up the show.
This has been awesome.
Thanks for being on the show, Brent. This has been eye-opening, very awakening, very informative, and you know where to go. The link's right there. So, without further ado, we will sign off. My name is Brent. Stay on there for a second. We'll talk for a brief moment afterwards. My name's Tim Sedano. This is Paranormal Insight, and we'll see you next week. If you have a paranormal experience that you would like to discuss on the show, please email us at paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com. That's paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com.